So good shortly before noon to everyone. So I'm Frank Wastin. I'm the head of the unit for knowledge for nuclear safety and decommissioning in the Joint Research Center. And I will moderate this session dedicated to education and training, research infrastructure, socio-economic issues. Before we start, I would like to remind everybody that if you want to interact with the session, asking questions or whatever, you can do it through the Slido, which the QR code is now appearing on the screen, but you have also a link directly on the main website of this session. So, the Euratom Research and Training Program 21-25 puts emphasis on Europe nuclear expertise and competence. So skills and qualified staff are the central element to nuclear safety and to an efficient program. So it's the top priorities in many domains concerning not only nuclear power application, but also nuclear technologies for non-power application. So it's a very central and very cross-cutting topic. The JRC has closely collaborated with DGRTD and is continuing to do that, especially in this research program framework. And we intend to increase our synergies. We will experience a new way of working together, participating in a new approach to the different consortium that will require the support and to benefit from the expertise and infrastructure of the JRC in the domain, but also in other domains, and participating on the cost of the direct action for everything which is related to own costs of JRC. So we hope this way to provide member states a higher benefit of the overall funding of the Euratom program. So to maintain and further develop expertise and competence in the nuclear field within the community is a common objective. So this is maybe something also to highlight that for this framework research program, the JRC and the GRTD, so in other terms, the direct and indirect actions, have compiled together common objectives. So we hope also this way to extract a higher benefit for the whole community and a higher efficient implementation of the programs and of our fundings. Nuclear is going through a change of generations, not only from the tools, the nuclear power plant aging, but also from the staff and the qualified staff that we had, but also a change in generation of the way of working with a different approach, new tools, intervention of artificial intelligence, and a new approach of the implementation of nuclear technologies. So this is capital then for a strong training and education program that we are ready to face not only the present challenges, but most of all the future coming challenges. So for this, from this on, I think also what we have to stress is competition that we will encounter in attracting skills and competent staffers, and also the difficulty, or let's say the challenge, to attract young generation, as a lot of very interesting fields are developing everywhere. And we need to renew the attraction of nuclear, especially from a point of view of safety and secure applications, implementation of all possible applications. So with this, I will give the floor to my colleague, Katarina. Excuse me if I am not able to pronounce your name correctly, Tatkova, who will present the detailed program related to this station. So thank you. Katarina, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you for this nice introduction to the education and training section of the info day. So can you please put my slides? Is the next one? Yeah. So I will present 5 topics plus prices that we have. These are the cross-sectoral issues that we have in our work program. So can you please give the next slide? Thank you. So the topic 12 is called European Facility in Nuclear Research, and with this particular action, actually we it is not really something new. It is a scheme that you might know from before, which was called the Transnational Access to Large Infrastructures. So here we don't really limit it to large infrastructures, but we would like to have participation of state-of-the-art nuclear infrastructures in that particular topic or in that scheme that will be proposed. So the objective is here to provide access to researchers or research teams, and it is related to advanced research. So it is not like doing training or education purposes, but this is really meant to excellent research. So this is really to advance research to the best available infrastructures that are not only in the Europe but also outside. You will see that this topic is also important by the level of the budget that we dedicate to this, because it's quite in our program it's quite a high amount of money. So we really would like to have excellent proposals with excellent infrastructures, so that the European researchers can have access to them. We also would like that the network that will be developed within that action will remain sustainable after the end of the project. So the action should also elaborate a set of common rules and framework how the network can operate in the future. That we call it Euratom user facilities. So there was another name discussed, Euratom nuclear facilities. So we will see how this will evolve, but we would like really to have, if possible, something permanent, some permanent network that will operate also in the future. As I said, we really would like to have the state-of-the-art infrastructure involved. So we require really active participation of them. It can be, well, ideally these should be beneficiaries, but they can also participate in another form, not as beneficiaries if this would be too difficult or if it's not possible, or if they are outside the European Union. But there should be clearly active participation of operators, which is required in this particular topic. And the scheme should be open call. So this is something that you probably know, that the scheme is to launch the open course regularly in different, well, it depends on the proposals that you will elaborate in which fields or which infrastructures, but well, it should be open to all researchers or research teams. It should be widely published and accessible to everybody. We also encourage international cooperation. That's what I said also, that we would like to have participation of international partners. In this scheme, we would like to send European researchers to top facilities outside the EU, if it's possible. But this is also under the condition that well, and we would also invite the international researchers to come to Europe, but this would be under the condition that there is a reciprocity. So we could very nicely imagine that with the American students, for instance, so we could there could be nice exchanges, because we know that European researchers are allowed to participate or to access the American infrastructure. So this we could envisage that there is a cooperation, for instance, with that country, and we really encourage. We would like really to find the best possible infrastructures to send the students or researchers outside. I think that's enough for that topic. If you have some questions, then I will answer later. Next slide, please. So this topic is we call it towards European nuclear competence area, and it is well, it is already somehow happening. As you know, the market in the European Union, not all the countries use the nuclear energy. They don't have nuclear electricity, but all of them need some nuclear specialists in other than electricity production. So the people are already circulating in the EU, but we would like to have it even more. Really like really free circulation of competent people, and we would like in this particular topic to have a comprehensive program. We would like actually to see what is the situation, how the countries are now doing, what are the national strategies, those who are using the nuclear energy for electricity, and those who are not using but plan to do so. All of them, they need to have sufficient resources, and we don't have really a clear picture on how this will be done in the future, if there will be really competent people available. So we would like with that action to contribute, because it's of course the responsibility of each member state to have a competent staff to run their nuclear installations. But with our action, we would like to contribute to their effort and make easier for them to acquire the competent people. So we would like to have it in terms of program, like we will have a more complete picture at European level based on the analysis that will be done in that topic. Also, of course, also this is quite a big action in comparison to what we have had before. So we would like to cover all fields. So we would like to attract also new talents with that, and also to dedicate a part of it to training opportunities, so the vocational training, because there is quite a lot of fragmentation and it's not really fully done everywhere. So people don't have so much possibilities to train themselves. In some countries it's much better, in some countries it's not so good. So we would like to consolidate also the vocational training or the vocational education training part. So integrated part of the or integral part of this scheme should be the mobility fund or mobility scheme. It's already working now. We know it's working quite well, but we would like to have it actually framed by the strategy, so that the people will move and we will know why they move and why they go to move to this particular areas or to do this particular formation. So it is possible. Well, it is even required, but we would like to have this mobility scheme like framed to have the mobility, not only to do mobility, but also to know why this mobility is done and in which directions. Next slide, please. Yes, we also would like to have a human resource specialist involved in the scheme if it's possible, because it's another competence than a technical competence. So we would like really to have this human approach also when you attract people or you develop a career of a person. It should be, especially in that field, it should be on the long-term perspective. So that's why we would like also to have included the human resource people to help to build the career perspective in the longer time for people that will work in nuclear, because it is true that it is not easy nowadays to dedicate all your life to something which in many countries is not so certain. So we would like to tackle this in the topic, and yes, and we would like really this is a big action with 7 million euros. So we would like to have academia involved, teachers, but also the operators, regulators, and users of the education. So we would like really the broad range of stakeholders involved. We very often have the academia side, but not really industry or end users involved, and so we would like in this one. That's also why we put quite a important budget on it to have to attract also the industry partners and yes, and the users of academical education. So we would like them to cooperate together and not to stay not to stay in each of them in their parts. We also encourage the international cooperation in this one. As I said before, it's in education and training is very important that people move also around the world, not only in Europe. So if there are really good opportunities for European students, so we would like to encourage also the international exchanges here. Okay, so thank you. I think this is also enough for that topic, and we move to next one. Thank you. So this is topic 14, socio-economic issues related to nuclear technologies. This will be also CSA, coordination and support action, in which we would like to examine the economical part of the nuclear energy and what are the total cost of that of nuclear energy and to compare it to other sources. Well, we know that there have been many studies done on this subject already, but we would like also not to have only the economical part, but also technical part judged or analyzed. And also we would like to identify the societal and cultural and ethical dimensions of the use of nuclear technology. So this is a combination of, yes, as the title says, socio-economic issues. So it's not only socio and it's not only economic. And with that, we would like to achieve, or we would like to have a more clear picture what could be the contribution of nuclear energy to climate neutrality to the by 2050. So how nuclear energy can contribute to decarbonize. We know it is possible. We know that there is well, it's not a view which is shared by all member states, but well, we would like have to this study to be able to convince the stakeholders or that they can take the right decision based on scientific facts. The outcome of this action also should be to develop recommendations, how can they interact, or how the interaction between the citizens and the civil society should be, and what we would like to see, what are the perception of the citizens and of the risks. And so, I mean, this shall be done in the overall context. Now for instance, it was mentioned at the beginning by Domenico. Now, what is happening in Europe, the floods and elsewhere the fires. So we clearly see that there is a climate change happening. So and we are convinced that that nuclear energy can contribute to mitigation of these changes. So we launch that action to have a good action and study to be able to help to take the right decisions. Okay, so thank you. I think also for this topic, that's all. Can I move to the next one? Yes, this is topic 15. This is support to Euratom national contact points. This is action. This is intended only for national contact points. So if you are not a national contact point, you cannot apply for this topic. This is really specific. You must be appointed by your authorities to be able to participate. So the aim is here to provide the support to the network of the national contact points and to increase the level of service that they will provide. They will share the good practices, and we will raise the general standard of the support that they are providing to you. if you are not the national contact points, then it's a point of contact also for you because they are more familiar with the projects at the national with the European program, so they can help you to prepare the projects, and we help them via this project that they learn and they share the good practices among themselves. So I repeat again, this is only for national contact points that are officially appointed by member states to Euratom. Oh, well, this one is for Euratom, but the similar networks are also will be also launched in other fields of the Horizon Europe, like health, transport, and so on. So you can only participate in that one if you are officially appointed national contact point. And the list is available on funding and tenders portal. I think also that's all for this topic. So if we can move to the prices now, the next slide, please. Yes, so we have two prizes in this work program. There is a new one which is called Nuclear Innovation Prize, and there is a second one, soft prize, which has been running for maybe five times already. So Nuclear Innovation Prize is the novelty. It is launched first time in this work program. There are two categories. There is one in safety of reactor system, and there is one in radioactive waste management. Here you see the prices. So there are three: 50,000, 30,000, 20,000 euro. The application will open 28th of July and will be open until 20th of October. So you are encouraged to apply if you have some innovative ideas to get the prize. Next slide, please. So here the soft prize is the fusion prize, which has been awarded already 5 times. So soft is the symposium on fusion technology, where the prize will be awarded in 2022. So here also the prizes, there are 3 prizes of 50,000, 30,000, 20,000 euro. So if you have good ideas or excellent ideas in fusion innovation, or you can apply for that prize. So you see on both slides, you see the link to the where you can get more information. And in this one, the application will open only in September and will be open until the January 2020. I think that's all for my presentation. And now we can move to your questions if you have.
Yeah, so thank you, Katarina, for this exhaustive presentation. Do we have questions? Yes, so related to the national contact point support, is it planned to have one single project with all Euratom national contact points participating, or is it possible to have several projects? And will the funding be covering 100%, or and also which kind of costs are reimbursable in this context?
Yeah, yes, thank you. It's yeah, we plan to have only one action, and it covers fission and fusion and CP. So all of them are Euratom and CP. So it covers fission and fusion. People sometimes they are the same people, sometimes they are not. But the action can well, the action is aimed to all of them. And there should be only one. Well, we wouldn't like to have a competing network of NCPs. So there should be only one action. It's a coordination and support action. So these are the costs are reimbursed in which are in the category of coordination support action. So this is not research, of course. This is coordination and support. So you do you can do some analysis. You will review the good practices. You can do some trainings. You can do seminars, workshops, and so on. From we have been running the networks for some time already, quite a long time. And we know that the NCPs in Euratom are not so keen to participate in the project. So it is usually quite small consortium. You will see the budget is not huge because the participation was or has not been until well, recently was not huge either. So it was quite limited. Well, of course, everybody is welcome, but you must be interested. So if there is interest, then we will see. But yes, everybody can participate, and either as a member of the consortium, or if you are not a member of the consortium, is required now in the topic that you must explain why you don't want to be a member of the consortium. But we say in our topic that if you are not a member, you can still, of course, participate in the activities that will be run in the project. So you can participate in the in the workshops, trainings, and so on, even if you are not a member of the consortium. But this time it is required to explain why you don't want to be a member of the consortium.
Thank you. So another question coming. Yes, so about topic 13. Does it concern only one large project covering the full cost, or is it that is expected to be funded, or is this do you think this is adequate or not too high for this topic?
Yeah, it is quite high. It is quite high, but that's what I said at the beginning. We would like to have a more complex action, including really everybody on board, yeah. We say in the topic conditions that we estimate that the project with that amount of budget is appropriate. But you can of course propose smaller projects. But how we drafted the work program is that we would expect a big project, a complex one, including all what I mentioned. If you read the work program, it's really a complex, big project. That's why the budget also is high. And there is also the mobility fund or mobility scheme that will be supported. So there will be some part of money dedicated also to that mobility fund.
I think one key and very important aspect in these global topics that we have is particularly let's say involving cross stakeholders and concerns. So how to bring together industry and academic world, so all the related stakeholders. So I think maybe the proposal should look at this aspect, and the amount of let's say the relatively high funding can support to integrate stakeholders which might not have participated so well and create more incentive. I don't know if it's one of the aspects that DG RTD had in mind.
Indeed, yes. Indeed, also I said we quite often face the situation that we have academia and who are producing education training tools and delivering people, but industry is not really involved, so it doesn't really match always. So we would really like to have in that action to have the end users industry on board. So that's why, yeah, that was indeed one of the objectives, and why the budget is so high, that we would like to attract those who usually don't participate in this kind of actions.
So another question now is about the participation of GRC units, directorates, and so on, how they can be involved in a consortium, and if it is the case, are they a full entity in the consortium?
Yes, in our case, GRC can participate. I don't know if because you are from GRC, if you have more information how exactly this will happen, because there have been some discussions about that. But indeed, in our work program, it is planned that the GRC will participate or can participate if you decide so.
Yeah, I can clarify how we approach it from the GRC point of view. We approach it a little bit from the same angle as we did before. So the consortium can get in touch with us. The only difference is that we will not be eligible for any direct funding coming from the indirect action, and our participation will be will be funded from our direct action budget and will be free of charge for the consortium. So we hope this way also to create a stronger integration of the different programs. And of course, our goal will be, because of the limited budget that we have, that the indirect action in which we participate will be complementary and bring an added value for our own direct action and vice versa. So I move to the next question, which is there a collaboration between the Euratom ENT and other training education program? Is nuclear to be looked completely separately? So I think here we are speaking about how can we integrate between the Euratom program and the let's say the Horizon Europe. And I believe some elements of answer were given before, but in this specific case, it might be even more necessary as we will move really to cross-disciplinary approach. So, Katarina,
yes, I think in that topic, Domenico, he can add something, but in that topic is required to have a look overall on the energy system and not only nuclear separately, but to compare it. So it's not it's not only to look at nuclear as a separate, but indeed, yes, there is a collaboration. Also in previous times there have been studies done in the Horizon Europe part, in the energy part, which included nuclear. So yes, there is a collaboration. And Domenico can add something.
Thank you, Katarina. Thank you, Frank. Just one question. If I like to use the term balancier, if there is a clear, if it's a proposal where let's take a shareholder perspective, it's 51 of the proposal is about nuclear, I think you will need to come to Euratom. If you have, let's say, you are speaking about education and training on energy technologies, and the nuclear share, it's, let's say, around 10% of the activity of a project, that will be, according to me, eligible in the Horizon Europe. But I think that's what we explain to the nuclear community. If you make a proposal which is almost exclusively nuclear, you give all the arguments to the reviewers of the Horizon Europe to say this is a proposal clearly for Euratom. While if it's a share of the proposal, which is, for example, on carbon-free technologies, and you put together renewable and nuclear, I do not see at all why it cannot be eligible. Then my point is really to see the proposal, this shareholder perspective that can help you to make your decision.
Thank you, Domenico.
I'm sorry, I think I misunderstood actually the question, because I thought it was about the socio-economic part, but it's about education and training, and if it contains, if it reach also other technologies. I think Domenico he answered well.
And I think Domenico answered for the whole package also in the different fields. So another question is related to, let's say, the relatively new possibility to have access to Marie Skłodowska-Curie actions, and whether a project could be applied for both an MNCA funding and an Euratom education and training project.
Yeah, I think it normally shouldn't be, because we don't. It's not the same. The objective is not the same. So we in Euratom education and training, we don't launch this. We don't launch ourselves this. This kind of action, then we will see what will be included in the future projects. Then themselves they might launch student courses or grants, which would be similar to Marie Skłodowska, but I think this will not be with the same amount of funding. So I think these are to be seen differently, because the objective is not the same. Marie Skłodowska-Curie is for postdoctoral studies, and I think the amount of money that are available there are bigger for one student than those that will be available in our projects that will be running. But it's, of course, we are waiting for the proposals how they will design, but it's not the same. It's not the same objective, and we don't. in Euratom we don't launch this minor schemes ourselves. So this will be within the project.
If I may add, Frank, if I may add just a point, because the question is a little bit ambiguous. If the question is, can a same person which obtain a Marie Curie be active in an Euratom project? Yes, but obviously without a double salary. I apologize if I'm so rude and so clear, but obviously there will be no, if you got Marie Curie Sklodowska grants, you will not be paid through an education and training Euratom project. I hope that that clarifies, because the question was a little bit ambiguous.
Thank you, Domenico. So another question is about social acceptance. So is in the topics any funding available for project related with increasing or addressing social acceptance and, let's say, more societal issues related to implementation of nuclear energy?
Yeah, indeed, this is the topic 14, which deals with that kind of questions. Domenico, if you...
Yes, thank you, Katerina. The only place where you have the issue of social acceptance is in the socio-economic topic 14, and that's where you can work on this issue of perception of social acceptability, and obviously with all the economic dimension. Then this proposal is really covering the different SSH science. You have economics, but you have also sociology. You have also some anthropology question. Then for sure, that's the only place where you can work on this issue. Then highly welcome. The way how it's formulated, funding for increasing social acceptance, we are not funding lobbying on whatever technology, but obviously to tackle scientifically with the socio-economic methods and tools, this issue is certainly highly welcome in the topic 14.
Sorry. Yeah, if I may also, I think in this context, education of the population, project of education about radioactivity and so on of the population might be something that can be considered. Domenico, what do you think?
Yes, but if it's really on education and training, I think the other topics which Katerina has presented, with very
much more making awareness of public.
Yeah, awareness. The awareness could be in the socio-economic topic, but if it's more on education, you have the two big topics that Katerina mentioned, which are more appropriate also in terms of added value and in terms of size.
Okay, so
if I may, no, sorry, just to complement, sorry for this. I wanted to also mention that in the framework of waste management, we have the Euratom joint program, and there are, let's say, several activities related to this, to, let's say, participation of the civil society, dedicated actions related to the interactions between, let's say, the community and the citizens. So it is also largely covered within the existing European Joint Programme on radioactive waste management.
Thank you, Roger. So I move to the next question, which is related to the National Contact Point Network. So the question is not very clear to me, but it is in the proposal on NCP. Do the NCP have to explain why they do not want to participate?
Yeah, the question is clear to me because it is. I think it is written centrally to all networks. That I mentioned that it's not only Euratom, but all Horizon Europe has this similar network. So yes, it is written in the work program. The NCPs from Euratom member states or associated countries choosing not to participate as a member of the consortium should be identified and the reason explained in the proposal. So themselves, they will not explain because they will not participate, but the coordinator should say that, yes, we have contacted them and they didn't want to participate for that and that reason. So it should be somewhere briefly mentioned in the proposal. And as I said, even if they don't participate in the consortium, they are invited to participate in the activities of the project.
So another question seems to be very targeted. So would a case study on ITER international relation cooperation be possible to be funded by Euratom? So this is a joint funding between two different programs from ITER, IEA, and at the same time from the fusion part of the Euratom program, if I understand well the question.
I will leave that to Domenico Roger because it's about ITER fusion. I'm not sure.
Thank you, Caterina. All the fusion-related activities are managed through the joint programming Eurofusion, and that's the way to go through.
And then if there is a dedicated study to be or dedicated action between ITER and IEA cooperation, this is dealt by our colleagues from DG Energy, unit D3, I think.
So maybe very quickly, a short answer because we are coming soon to the end. When is planned the first Marie Curie action call to be issued?
Yeah, they are. I think they are open now already to Marie Curie. I think they are open and they have deadlines over in October. If I'm not sure, yeah, deadline 12 October. Yes.
Okay, thank you. And
yes.
What about the possibility for non-EU member states to join the program and be funded?
Yes, it is. It has been already said. I think so. For the time being, we. From non-EU member states, it's only Ukraine and UK who count as associated, even they are not yet associated, so they can follow. They are treated as and the same like member states. The other countries can also participate. Entities from other countries can also participate. They are eligible, but eligible for funding is something else. Eligible for funding must be specific in each topic. So I think. In our case, it's not really in our call. It's not really the case, and they can also and there is only exception. They can be funded if their participation is essential to the project. So the project couldn't run without that partner, and the project, if it is selected and couldn't run without the partner from a third country, then it can be approved by the Commission that this entity can be exceptionally funded from Euratom. But this is really exceptional case if the participation is essential to the project to achieve its objectives. Otherwise, yes, entities from third countries are welcome, but to come with their own funding usually.
So yeah, any country, any representative from around the world can participate. So we have Mexicans participating, for example, in a project. Just to say, they can participate. The funding is another story.
Okay, thank you very much. I think the countdown are started. So maybe the very last question is about integrating social acceptance in the communication and dissemination work package. I think the communication and dissemination work package can indeed include a social acceptance target as a part of it. And the very last one. So can the studies on socioeconomic issues also linked to similar critical infrastructure related study could be expect to be in the Horizon Europe?
Domenico, can you?
I do not see the direct link on critical infrastructure with the socio-economic topic description, both impact and scope.
Yeah, maybe from the medical application point of view, radioisotope or things like that could be possible to have a link between a nuclear research reactor, critical infrastructure, and socioeconomic aspect. Nevertheless, we are running out of time. So I thank my colleague from DG RTD and in particular Caterina, the participant for the active participation and questions. And maybe I give you the floor, Domenico, to close the session and invite us for the lunch.
Thank you very much, Frank. Thanks to you and to the other colleagues. You see that we have tried really to make this information day with all the actors in the Commission active on the nuclear fields. Thanks a lot to the GRC. Thanks a lot to DG NR. And let's meet at 2 o'clock with also colleagues from DG Sante to discuss artificial intelligence robotics in the nuclear sector. Thank you all the speakers and thanks to all the audience for the very active also question and answer session. Bye-bye, all the best. Thank you.
And good artificial appetite to everybody.
Thank you. Merci.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bonne journée.